My name is Will Rosenberg. I'm from Southeast Iowa, town of about 30,000 called Burlington, Iowa. So I'm not exactly the most common type of Spanish student since I started teaching myself just kind of out of curiosity when I was about 10 years old, give or take, late grade school, fifth or sixth grade, somewhere in there. Um, so I had this passion already existing, and then I got to college. I was already pretty fluent in Spanish, and I I never told myself that I was 100% going to do the LCP major, but I decided to just kind of try it out freshman year. I took, I think, two classes freshman year, and never really. I took some courses that happened to line up with the LCP degree because they interested me, but I had it constantly in my head that I would take what interested me, and I didn't have to do the LCP major. But over time, it kind of worked out. There was a year where I don't think I even took any Spanish classes, but ultimately, as I was getting towards graduation, I realized that I was within reach of getting the full LCP major. So I worked with my schedule to make sure I could actually wrap it up. So it just kind of happened naturally almost. This one time when I was probably still in grade school, almost at the beginning, when I was playing soccer with some older middle-aged guys, and they were all Hispanic, all from mostly Central America, and they really spoke almost no English. So that kind of piqued my curiosity at a young age because I wanted to know what they were talking about. The technical aspect of learning a language requires a lot of time, just being exposed to it, obviously. So to me, the big part is where you get the enjoyment from, where the fun comes from, because then it becomes something automatic that you can sustain for that long amount of time necessary to actually get enough exposure to the language. So for me, a lot of that fun has come through meeting strangers, actually, being careful with it, of course. Your parents, that's not the typical advice. They don't say go out and meet as many strangers as possible. But when I studied abroad in Spain, in Malaga, that was a huge component. Going out to bars at night, was as much educational, frankly, as the classes during the day. Talking to older people on the streets, just stopping them and asking them a random question. Like if they're painting a wall, ask them, oh, what do you call the tool in your hand in your particular dialect or whatever it may be. And you can learn that way. Once you kind of learn in a more baby-like manner almost. That's the way we learned our native languages. So if you can get over the shame or the fear of failure of talking to these people and saying the wrong thing in this new language you're learning, I think that can help take away that negative aspect a lot of people associate with learning a language. You take away this fear of failure, and then you're left with just this ability to connect with people, to connect with strangers that you never otherwise might have even talked to. And that can, literally open up your world in a lot of ways, but especially if you can frame it correctly to get in a position where you have the potential to interact with people who are international in some way, then it can add a lot of value, I think. But the technical component still got to be there. That's the meat of any engineering position. But yeah, I interned at GE one summer, and they happened to do all their drafting for the drawings, their engineering drawings. All that was done by employees they had in Mexico. So they were native Mexicans working somewhere in Mexico. I forget which city now. But I'd have to email them or call them up every time I wanted to change in a drawing made. So their English was very good, frankly, but my Spanish happened to be better than their English was. So I was able to make things a little more efficient. And also just, it was more fun. You could connect with them on a more personal level if you're speaking their own language. So I'd call them up on the phone and we talked for a little bit, and that just added this extra energy to that interaction. And I felt like they were a little more willing to help me out a little faster, despite being an intern. I'm going to be working at Boeing starting this August in Seattle with commercial aircraft as a mechanical engineer.